What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video, as you can see by the title, I am bringing you guys a must-have and must-gags. If you guys are interested in seeing the new indie releases that have come out these last 2 weeks and want to know my opinion on them, if I've already purchased them, if I want to purchase them, then just keep watching. Alrighty guys, so I think today, I always generally put the photos on this side. I think I'm gonna put them on this side. Alrighty, so I think it's time to just get into the video. I actually have to get through this kind of quickly. I have to leave in like 30 minutes and these videos tend to be 30 minutes. What do I have to say? I did not film this look. I actually did use 2 new items. Well, a couple of new items, but the two, all right, we're just gonna let that go. The 2 items that I want to discuss are the eyeshadow palettes. So I used the LA Splash Classic Core palette. This is the one that they released for Halloween, of course. And I used just these 2 purples and this like mustardy orange kind of thing as a transition color. So those are the shadows that I used in here. And then I also went ahead and used some more of my Kristen Lee shadows. I've already used these once. This is the new bundle. This is for fall time. And today I used this purple and this purple up here. And this is an older, these are all her older shadows that I've already had. So that's kind of what's on my eyes. Everything else is pretty much the same. I did a mixture of my Fenty Beauty foundation and my Estee Lauder foundations. Neither of those are actually perfect matches for me in my current skin shades. During the time it was, but now I've gotten darker throughout the year, so they're not anymore. And just some other things. I will have everything linked down below. Oh, the only other cool thing is that I'm wearing the Desi X Katie Chasing the Sun highlighter, and hopefully you guys can see how intense this highlighter is on my complexion. I have been wearing this a couple of times, so yeah. All right, let us get into the video. I will pop the photos on this side of the video, and yeah, let me just get to my playlist. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start off with the oldest and go up to the newest. Obviously these older things are 2 weeks old, so other people have already talked about them, but yeah, let's just get into it. So first thing I want to talk about is Juvia's Place is coming out with their next palette, and it's Warriors 2. This really looks like the Amazons to me from Diome, and so I'm really interested in this palette, honestly, mainly for the packaging. I'm hoping that it has like a red color scheme. If it does, I will definitely purchase it. And yeah, I'm really interested in this second Warrior palette. Next, Persona Cosmetics. I showed you guys the last 2 weeks ago that she had a color wheel and she was talking about color story. Well, she has now released 2 of her color theory palettes, and it's just 5 pans all dealing with the same color scheme. And I think the one that interests me most is the same one that interests a lot more people most, and it's the pinkier one. It definitely pops out and it's small, compact. It would be unique to my collection. I don't have very many pinky palettes, so I might get that one. I'm also interested in her eyeshadow brush, seeing that material, seeing if it works. And then of course the eyeliner. I've been always searching for a good eyeliner. I don't really have very good eyeliners. I have good eyeliners that last like in the moment and then they fade out really quickly. So I would be interested in getting the pink kit. What is the other? The copper kit doesn't really tickle my fancy, so I will pass on that. Next, Kylie Cosmetics is coming out with the Bougie palette. I haven't decided if I'm gonna get that because there hasn't been any real like showing of what's inside the palette. It's only been the like, this is what's coming up. So yeah. Oh, of course I forgot, as always, this series is inspired by Samantha March's Will I Buy It series, and I'm also in her Will I Buy It series community list playlist. I will link both her channel, her Will I Buy It series, and the community playlist down below. Also, I always have down below all of the makeup pages that I use. A lot of them are indie based because that's the main stuff that I like to talk about in these series. But I also do use, of course, Trend Mood and Hot Fire Makeup. So all of those and like all the indie pages like Indie Mood Spotlight, all of that stuff will be down below for you guys. So yeah, let's keep going. Next, BH Cosmetics is coming out with a holiday palette. It's called The Royal Affair. No, it honestly, it just looks boring to me. I mean, you have like 3 decent colors. You have that one color called Crown. It's a nice lime green. You have the nice color Monarch. It's a richer green. And then Lady. Other than that, it's all neutral to me, and I'm not a huge neutral girl. Don't get me wrong. Some palettes that are neutral I do lust after, but like that, no ma'am. Next, OMFG Cosmetics is coming out with a Halloween palette. I don't know. I've been trying to figure out how I feel about this palette. It's interesting. It's not like extremely unique. Let me see what the price is for that palette. So the price for the palette is $28. I might think about it. I might. It would go with my indie week, and I don't think I have all the items that I would need for that week. So I might think about getting that palette. Yeah. Next, Essence has apparently a collab with Casey Holmes. I don't know how much of a collab it is with Casey Holmes because she hasn't talked about it on her channel or anywhere. But it's a loose banana powder, a loose peach powder, and 2 powder palettes. I ended up getting the loose peach powder because I don't have a peach powder. I have banana, I have white, I have my complexion. I don't have a peach. The only problem is I can't figure out how to open this darn thing. There's plastic. I can't figure out how to open it. So whenever I figure out how to open it, then I will actually try it out. But until then, yeah. And the only reason I didn't get a palette is because looking at those highlighters, they just look way too light for me. Maybe if I go into an Ulta and I swatch them, they look like they'll work for me. Maybe I'll pick it up. But honestly, I'm not dying for it. I just wanted to support Casey because I could not find her collab with Palladio. So I ended up purchasing this. Next is one of those things that like I was so excited about and I already purchased it. Okay. It's the Oh My Glitter, Oh My God, Lexicon palette. This palette is beautiful. It's like all of the palettes, the outside are extremely unique. Nobody's gonna have the same outside covering. It has that little creepy eye. It has the little circle. I know there was another YouTuber, what is her name? Amy something. She's the person that runs Indie Mood Spotlight. She was talking about how this is like the part that you use on a Ouija board. I'm not a Ouija board person, so I wouldn't know. That's not something that I dabble in at any cost. But I love Halloween. I love spooky things, and this is spooky. So I purchased it. I got it when they had free shipping, so all of it was a lot cheaper to come out to me. And yeah, the owner was really nice. They even contacted me asking me like if there's anything I needed to just contact them back. So I did ask them just for a little bit of background on this palette and their brand because I couldn't find anything on their website. So as soon as I get the palette and hopefully they email me back, I will be giving you guys that update. But yeah, I did go ahead and purchase that palette. Next, Rising Phoenix Makeup is coming out with a palette. It's called the Greek Gods and Goddesses. I'm interested. So as you guys know or may not know, I'm actually Greek. I'm a Zeta, and I have family that are Greek as well. And I would love it if my family members that are Greek, if their names are in this palette, I will definitely get it. But also if I like the colors and all that jazz. So I haven't been able to see the whole palette. Oh yeah, there is the whole palette. That's a beautiful palette. that is a beautiful palette. I am going to put the palette on the screen. I just saved it. It's not releasing until August 12th. Oh no, there's 4 more to go. Oh my gosh, what's happening? What's happening? Okay, so I have now seen 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've seen 11. There's 1 more that they're going to be releasing. So hopefully I can collage it around my body, etc., that you guys can see all 11 shadows that have been released thus far. I think this palette is looking beautiful. I am curious to see how many mattes there are because I can't really tell. This is a Singapore brand. I wonder if they would even ship to me. Well, we'll figure it out when the palette releases. But yeah, y'all, I am interested in that palette. Next, Gently Cosmetics is coming. They just opened up and they released this palette. This palette screams ColourPop yes please to me. But what makes this palette so unique and so something that I really wanted to talk about is that it's a Black owned brand. And so honestly, I might purchase it just because it's a Black owned brand and it reminds me of the Yes Please palette. I was always going back and forth on whether I wanted to purchase that palette and I just never did. But because this is a Black owned business and it's the same sort of color scheme, I might purchase it. On top of that, it has a lot more reds and oranges than the Yes Please. In my opinion, that palette has a couple more browns, at least from my memory. So I'm interested in this palette and I might be purchasing it. Next, Nomad Cosmetics finally released the whole palette for their Berlin Underground. I think last time I said Berlin Wall. It's the Berlin Underground palette. And here's the palette. To me, this is a little too neutral. I'm not really feeling the full palette. There are pops of color that I am interested in, but not the full palette. So I think what I'm going to do is go with my original plan to purchase their first eyeshadow palette and that highlighter palette and test those out and see how those go. But this palette personally for me is not my cup of tea. Next is a palette that so many people are interested in. It is the Menagerie. It's the Menagerie Cosmetics Ferrell palette. Now, I think I talked about this palette 2 weeks ago in my last must-have must-gag, and they had only released the 8 shadows on the bottom 2 rows, and I was like, yes, your girl is getting this palette. And then they released the last 4 shades and I was like, browns, neutrals, why? I get it. I have their other palette, their Makeup Monsters palette, and there are no browns, there's no neutrals, so I'm not like hating that they put neutrals in it, but I'm like, you guys were doing so well, no neutrals. I will get this palette. I'm not rushing to get this palette. It's already it actually released today. Pre-sale started today, and it's gonna retail for basically $40, and $4 of that is gonna go towards an animal welfare institute. I will purchase this palette. I'm not, like I said, I'm not rushing for it. I actually just got paid today, so I might actually buy it today, even though I wasn't planning on it. Okay, so I actually might purchase this palette. I wasn't planning on it, but I just got paid today and it just released their pre-sale. I really hate pre-sales. Like, you guys don't understand the amount of passion I hate for pre-sales, but we will see. Next, Darling Girl Cosmetics has released a limited edition collection of eyeshadows and it's called the Book of Spells. They have some pinky shimmers, some purple shimmers, a yellow shimmer, and a couple, is that Simmer Down weather? It's an interesting color scheme. Once again, that would fit in with my most recent indie week that I'm trying to pull together. We will see. That might have to wait until November. I'm sorry if it does, but it might. So yeah, I am interested in it. We will see. I am extremely interested in it. Next is a palette that I somehow didn't put in this playlist on my phone, but I found it going through it. through my phone, so I wanted to still talk about it. It's a Elegant Cosmetics palette, and this is for the fall, so it should be coming out soon. One side is pinks and purples, the other side is darky blue, greens, and in the middle they're like, I would assume, glitter shades because there's shimmer on each side. This is an interesting color, interesting palette. I would like to see how much this costs. Because I don't believe they've actually released it yet. This is just like, it'll be coming soon. But once this actually releases, depending on the price, I might actually purchase this. It's really interesting. Actually, the darker side really reminds me of the Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic palette. And the other side really reminds me of the purple palette. So I really like this. You know what? I'm going to be purchasing this palette. It's a done deal. Next, Give Me Glow Cosmetics has come out with a new single. It's called Electric Mint. Good Lord, like, can I keep my money, Give Me Glow? I literally just did a purchase from them. I can just show you guys real quick. So I purchased all of these singles, and like I said I was going to, I purchased the Moneymaker palette. So that was not a cheap little order, and now they're already coming out with more singles. It's okay. I'm gonna just do what I always do, put them on my purchase list, and when I get a bunch of stuff, I will purchase from them. Next, I am really excited. Paulina is coming out with a collab with BlushTribe. I have been a fan of Paulina for a while. I have been following her makeup channel for a while. I've been following her on Instagram for a while. And yeah, I'm really happy to see her getting a collab. I'm just waiting for Angescka to release her little promo on her collab too. And then I'm gonna scoop both of those palettes up at the same time. So I am definitely gonna be purchasing this palette. I have the same sort of interest in makeup as Paulina does. I like color, she likes color, she likes greens and purples. I love greens and purples, so I think whatever she makes, I will enjoy. Next, the Smashbox Ultraviolet palette finally released. This was a palette that I already talked about a while ago. I already said I was going to purchase it. What I am going to do for this palette is actually go in store. If I can see in store the palette and look on the back and see that it's made in the US, I will not purchase it. If it's made in Italy, I will purchase it. As you guys saw, hopefully in my last palette roundup, which I will link up above, the palette that was made in Italy, I loved. The palette that was made in the US, the pigmentation was a little sketchy. So I want to purchase it, but I'm hoping that it's the formulation made in Italy and not in the US. If it's made in the US, I probably will still give it a try, but if it's in Italy, I know it's going to be bomb.com. So that's how I feel about that palette. And that is just my my thoughts. That's not set in stone that the one that's made in Italy is the better one, but based on the two palettes that I have, that's how it rolls. Next, Rude Cosmetics is coming out with yet another palette. This palette looks huge. It looks like 40 shades. No, it's only 25. That looks a lot more bigger. Anyway, it's only 25 shades. I mean, 2 or 3 of the shadows catch my attention, but other than that, it's a no for me, dog. Bitter Lace Beauty is coming out with a Black Magic collection. I want it. I want it. This is like their Halloween release. I am interested in this palette. Let me see if I can figure out how much it costs. Oh my Lord. Okay, so child, no. The collection is $199 for the palette and the eyeshadows. You've got me all the way messed up. No, ma'am. So what I might do is get a couple of the single shadows that I think are really interesting. But what we're not about to do is charge me $200 for one eyeshadow palette. I mean, the concept is cool. The packaging is apparently thermal. No. No. Next, Origin is coming out with lipsticks. What did I say? skincare brands stick to skincare, makeup brands stick to makeup. I don't need y'all going back and forth trying to get double dipped money. No ma'am. So y'all already know my answer to that. Jouer Cosmetics is apparently coming out with some loose powder for the holidays. I don't need loose powder. I only got this to support Casey Holmes. I'm not a huge fan of loose powder, so I don't need that. Next is a palette that I am getting. I'm getting this palette. This is the Kush Queen palette. Look at this color scheme, y'all. Look at it. That thing is fire. I am getting this palette. Honestly, to me, this eyeshadow palette, first of all, the pans are like, I think, a Juvia's Place type palette pan, but also it's just more unique than the Kush palette that I got from Melt Cosmetics. So I am getting that palette. I am highly interested in that. Next, Certified Cosmetics showed two different versions of their Affinity palette, and they were trying to get some input on which palette we would prefer. I just purchased my first certified palette, and it still is not here. It is a UK based brand, so I'm gonna sit down and shut up. But yeah, I like both versions. Honestly, I think I like the first version better because there's no browns at all. But if this palette does release, I would purchase it immediately. Next, Beauty Bakery is coming out with eyeliners. I have still yet to purchase anything from Beauty Bakery. It's nothing against them. I just haven't done it yet. But now that they're coming into Ulta, I will definitely be purchasing and doing a full face of Beauty Bakery. So I can't wait for that to happen. Next, I just posted, or we just got some closer looks at NARS's Holiday Cheek palettes. They're pretty. I don't need them. They're not really gripping me. So I'm not even gonna sit there and swatch them. I'm not gonna go in store to look at them. No ma'am. No ma'am. Next, Fenty Beauty released a bunch more of her, what's the name of it? Of her unveiled, of her stunner lipped paints. Now, originally I was not going to purchase any of these, but I have seen reviews saying that the formulation for the new 4 is different than the uncensored, because uncensored stunner lip paint, it did not dry down. I don't like liquid lipsticks that are like that, but the other 4 apparently do dry down. So I might get unveiled and uninvited. I only have one black liquid lipstick, and that is from Juvia's Place, and I do like it. But I also am a huge fan of brown liquid lipsticks. So mainly I'll probably get unveiled, but I might also get uninvited as well. Next is just more sneak peeks of the MAC holiday collection. Honestly, at this point, I feel like they need to just drop their holiday collection because they might get overlooked because so many other holiday releases have already dropped. But I think they're waiting until sometime in October to release it. October 18th. So you still have about a week before this stuff releases. Like I said before, the main thing I'm interested in is that highlighter with the bow. Other than that, I couldn't be bothered to purchase anything else from this holiday collection. Next, Makeup Addiction is coming out with a new eyeshadow palette, and it's called Sinful Eyes. I have been on and off with purchasing Makeup Addiction. At one point, I was going to do it, and the palettes went down to like $19, and then I just never purchased it. So I anticipate and plan to purchase eyeshadows from them. Actually, I might go on their website if they're having, what is the holiday coming up? Columbus Day? No. Whatever the holiday that's coming up on Monday, tomorrow for you guys. If they're having a sale on their website, I might just go ahead and purchase from them. I've been wanting to. There are palettes that interest me. I just have not done it. So yeah. Next is this, it's like a fall palette from Peachy Queen blog again. So they have two palettes that I'm looking at. This one is a little less interesting. I'm definitely more interested in their Kush palette. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because this is a fall palette and we are in fall. We're not in the holiday Christmas time yet. So yeah. Next, another palette from Baby Bat Beauty. It's their first eyeshadow palette, and it is their Cemetery Mourning palette. It is really interesting, the layout. It's actually a bat. And in I think the shimmers, they have bat like pressed in them. It's an interesting palette. Will I get it? I don't know. It honestly depends on the price. It's $30. I don't know. I don't know. We will see. We will see. Next, Give Me Glow came out with a Grunge palette. I am happy to say I'm not feeling this palette, so it's a no for me, dog. But I like that one purple, but other than that, I am good. Next, Estee Lauder is doing a collab with somebody. I don't know who it is, but they have two palettes coming out. One that's more reddy pink, the other one that's more bluish gold. Maybe we... Okay, guys. So I just went back and checked the video to make sure that not too much was cut out, and like 10 different items were cut out. So I just finished talking about the Estee Lauder collab with the people with the red and bluish palette. Yeah, whatever. Okay, next is the Kylie Cosmetics blush bombs. I'm really interested in the coral orangey blush one, but the problem is that the highlighter is super icy. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind an icy highlighter. I am interested in getting the Fenty Balm silver highlighter, but this is like a white highlighter. Silver and white are two different things. So please let me know if you guys think I would be good. I don't know. Next, Sydney Grace Co. is coming out with a shade. It's a silver single. It's called Cliff Jumping. I'm interested in getting that because I don't have any silver singles, and I am a silver wearer, so I would really like to have a single in the event that I want to make my own little palette. So I would like to get that. Next, Indie Mood Spotlight actually showed a comment where somebody who was interested in a color scheme on one of BlushTribe's photos said, I would love to get a palette. And the owner of BlushTribe actually tagged Angelica Nyquist. I don't know if this is the palette that they're already creating or she would just like her to collab in it. Either way, I'm interested in getting that palette and or the collab with Angelica Nyquist as well. Next, a brand called Multitude Makeup is coming out with a Gemini palette. And they're only releasing 50 palettes. So I don't know how much I'm going to really want to purchase this, because even if I do review it, nobody else is going to be able to do it. Wow. Sorry. Political thing just popped on my phone. So I'm interested in this palette, but I probably just, if I purchase it, I won't review it because you guys won't be able to get it. So that's how that is. Madonna's skincare line is coming out with a very interesting object. Next, Fenty Beauty is coming out with a holiday Kilowatt Freestyle palette. I feel some type of way because the promo pictures and the pictures of people actually with the palette are completely different. One is magical, one isn't. So I want to see it in person. I want to swatch it in person, see if I like it, and then go from there. Next, ColourPop dropped a palette for the Mean Girls Wednesday We Wear Pink Day. I'm actually interested in this palette, and I might actually go ahead and purchase this palette and a bunch of other things that I wanted from ColourPop for a while. Next, Blackmoon Cosmetics is coming out with some lip dips. I don't really know much about them. We will see and then go from there. Kylie Cosmetics is coming out with a new Halloween collection. I'm actually interested in the lip products. So I actually might purchase the lip products, and that's a lot for me. So I might actually purchase those lip products. Next, Notoriously Morbid is coming out with a spooky collection. I don't know much about it. I just know that they're coming out with one, and I'm interested in purchasing probably. Ofra is coming out with some mini palettes of their products. I probably won't purchase any of them because those highlighters won't work on my complexion. Maybe Bali, but even then I doubt it. And then the bronzer and the blush I doubt is going to work for me either. So I'm not even about to play myself on that. So yeah, now I'm hoping I caught everything on this bloody memory card and on this camera. That is all I have to say about my indie makeup releases. I don't even think I talked about any mainstream makeup releases, and I'm really happy about that. Oh, I talked about Fenty Beauty. But anyways, those are all the items that I'm interested or have been interested in for these past 2 weeks. Definitely comment down below any items that you end up purchasing or you want to purchase. I will of course let you guys know what items I purchased throughout the weeks. And yeah, it has been real, y'all. Peace.